Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. My name's Phil. As ever, we want your views, we want your comments, loads and loads and loads of stuff to talk about. Leicester City are currently still in that top four. What do you want to talk about tonight? Do you want to talk about Harvey Barnes, his impact on the club? Do you want to talk about James Justin and how good he is looking? It's up to you. Get your views in, get your comments in. Do you want to talk about Casper? 400 goals, 400 games. Is he the best ever Leicester City captain? And also keeper. Get your views in on that. James Justin, we've talked about, and Jamie Vardy. Will he be fit for tomorrow night? We hear he will. We want your views. Get your views in, get your comments in, and join us in tonight's Fanzone Show. Yes, good evening. My name's Phil. Like I say, if you're watching this live, get your views in, get your comments in. We can put them on screen. If you're watching this on playback, join us live every Monday at 7:30, every Friday at 7:30, every Sunday at 10 a.m. We are live tonight on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube. So get your comments in wherever you are. I want to know your score predictions for tomorrow night's match. What did you think to Saturday's game against Southampton? And I want to know what you think about the media just totally not talking about us. I'll come on to that in a minute. Let's get some hellos in there. Anthony says straight away, no, Mark Wallington was the best keeper ever for Leicester. Do you know what? I used to love Mark Wallington. Great keeper of his days, but didn't play at the highest level at all times for Leicester City. So I think that's an interesting one. Fee, good evening to you. How are you? Glad to have you here. Hope you're well. LCFC Gray says, what's good at the moment is we are scoring without Jamie scoring. I hear what you're saying there. Indeed. Brendy says, do you think we can get up to top four this season? Listen, I was out early doors this morning for a little walk about 7 o'clock and I was listening to Radio 5 Live and they were talking about the top four. They were talking about the title race. This is what it was about. It was a 10-minute chat about the title race. They talked about Man City. Fair enough. They talked about Liverpool. Fair enough. They talked about Man United. There was a 10-minute debate on the title race. And do you know what? With about 10 seconds to go, honestly, Radio 5 Live this morning, they said, oh, and there's not even time to talk about Leicester. Perhaps should have done, but hey-ho. And it's just like, yeah, you are talking about a title race, but absolutely not including us in it. Maybe that's what we should all want. I don't know. What do you think about that? Are you quite pleased that really nobody's counting us in for us? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Rudy says, big win tomorrow. I can feel it. It is going to be a good one. Chelsea, they've been doing ups and downs over the past few weeks. But who will start tomorrow night, says Stephen. Who do you think, Stephen? Let me know. Jamie Vardy is fit. We've just thought about Jamie Vardy. Good news is that Vardy is going to be fit. Brendan Rodgers has said today. So Jamie Vardy will start, no doubt, tomorrow. Well, I would assume he would. Wasn't firing on all cylinders, maybe, but had plenty of chance against Southampton, and that's really what we want. So do get your comments in, get your views in. As many comments as we can, we'll get onto screen. Fee says it was a brilliant result for Leicester against Southampton. They were not shabby, Southampton. I thought we played well that day. Indeed. Patrick's coming back to the debate on is Casper, after 400 appearances, the best, or he's certainly one of the best keepers for Leicester City ever. But Patrick says Shilton and Banks are above Casper. It's an interesting debate. Get your views in and get your comments in there. Do you agree with Patrick or not? Gray, watching on YouTube, says we're definitely in the course. We're in the title race. We're in the top four. If we win tomorrow night, and I know we'll have played extra games, if we win tomorrow night, we've gone top of the Premier League. And I know we're not at this stage of the season, midway through January, we've normally played a few more games, but I just can't believe it when you listen to the radio. And I say 10 minutes of chat and I thought, oh, let's hear what they have to say on Leicester. But kid you not, they didn't even mention us, apart from at the end, 10 seconds to say, oh, could have mentioned them, but hey, not got any time. Stephen Price is saying, maybe do you start Perez behind Vardy? Interesting one for tomorrow. It looks like Hamza Chowdhury, by the way, is probably going to be staying at Leicester. So get your views in on that. This is with Dennis Pratt, obviously, being injured for probably 10 to 12 weeks. So Hamza's probably going to stay at Leicester. Was talk of him going to maybe either to Newcastle or West Brom. I want to know what you think about signings. Again, we'll come on to signings. Do we need to sign this guy? What are your views on him? There's mixed reactions. This is Edouard. Am I saying that right? Edouard from Celtic. A lot of fans are saying go get him. He's rumoured to be there for 30 millions. Do you think we should sign him? Get your views in, get your comments in. I want to know, who do you think we should sign? For me, I've said it before, last season in the January transfer window, we were in the top 4. We were probably high. We were second. We had a chance to get to the Champions League. And for me, last season, we didn't do it in January. We bought Ryan Bennett, and I said it last season. I've said it since. I think this is massive. I think we do need to go and get somebody. I know it's hard. I know there's coronavirus. I know it's really tough, but I do think we should go and get somebody. Brandy Kerr says, I don't think we can win the league. We dropped too many points, but I hope I'm wrong. Listen, Brandy, all I can say is this season, the Premier League title is open. If you agree with me, wherever you're watching, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, if you agree and you think we can win the title, we're in it. I think we can win it. Listen, 2015, I would have laughed. Before that year, I would have never sat here and said that. We've done it. We've lived the dream. I definitely think we can go win the Premier League this season. Liverpool are stuttering. Man United have got a stutter or two left in them. Man City have got a game in hand. They've not been firing on all cylinders. Chelsea haven't. Arsenal are not really in it. Spurs. Why on earth are we not just thinking we're in this race? I certainly do. Coming back to Edouard, Callum Barnes says, no, he's not good enough. Kevin says, no. I don't know. I can't make my mind up on him. I mean, I've often joked before, but the Scottish League is the Sunday pub football league of Europe, if you're honest. So is he any good? I don't know. Slimani looked good when he was playing in the Portuguese Sunday League. So I don't know. No offence to Celtic, but it's Celtic and Rangers. Celtic have been the best team for years because Rangers have been rubbish for the last 5 or 6, 7 years because of their finances. Rangers have come back and now Celtic it's just a pants league. So is he any good? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I want your views on it. And I want your comments on it. Chris says, I hope we can make a silent statement and win. That would confuse the media who seem scared to say the LC. They do. Chris, honestly, when we won the Premier League title in 2015 and 16, that last 3 or 4 months, 5 months even, they were talking about us a little bit. And I can tell you, we were getting phone calls here at Leicester Fan TV. Can you do this interview? Can you do that interview? At the moment, honestly, I don't mind. It's deathly silent. They're not that interested in Leicester. I don't think this time they want it to be Leicester. I don't know. Is Eduardo up to our level? I don't know. I really don't. He's looked decent, but like I say, in a pub league, honestly, and I'm being a bit harsh there. Interesting to see. Carlos says there's a player in Germany, think his name is Lewandowski. I'd sign him, smiley face. Have we got enough money to spend, says Andrew Tully. I think that's the big question, Andrew. I do think that, and obviously we've read the finances. We took out new loans, as lots of you will have seen in the news, against future earnings from Premier League income. So, we've just spent a lot of money on Premier League, state-of-the-art training ground. I get that's 100 million. We're looking to do the ground expansion. What's that going to be? 30, 50 million, maybe 60 million to do the ground extension. So you're going, we've got a lot of wages to pay. Let me remind you, we did sell Harry Maguire for 85 million. We did sell Ben Chilwell for 60 million. We've made money the last 2 or 3 seasons on transfers in and out. We've made money. And we're guaranteed. I know, look, we're not quite at 40 points yet, but we are guaranteed Premier League football next season. So, things are looking good, and I think you do need to go and sign somebody. It just shows intent. It does show intent. Keep your comments coming in. Anthony, this is 100% what I agree with you. I don't think there's enough goals on the bench for us to win the league. It was great to see, Anthony, Leicester. Goals coming obviously on Saturday against Southampton from Maddison. What a goal that was. I loved that sort of goal. I thought that was great. I know some people will say the keeper shouldn't let it in at his near post. That was a real smash. He had a real, if you look at that angle it was like tiny to get that in. He did ever so well, Maddison. And then Harvey Barnes is already beating his scores from last season. So there is goals coming in elsewhere from Maddison, from Barnes. But if you look at the bench, when Nacho comes on, again, I'm being honest, what do you think? When Nacho comes on, I never really think, here's a goal. Hey up, here's a goal. I never think it. I don't know about you guys. I'm not being harsh on Nacho. I've said a few weeks ago, I've made my mind up after his penalty miss and that he ain't good enough. If we want to go for Champions League spots, if we want to go for a Premier League title, if we want to go for a Europa League title, if we want to go for an FA Cup title, this is where we're at, Leicester fans. We are at this level now. And I want us to be pushing on. I want somebody to be coming in and knocking on that door, pushing Vardy out. You know, Vardy's only got so much longer left in him. Maybe it's a year, maybe it's two. Alex says Edouard would be an utterly superb signing if we can get him. Strong, runs off the shoulder, very quick, brilliant finisher, a perfect backup replacement or even forward for Vardy. You see, I do like that with the old Slimani debate. At least he offered us something a little bit different, and I always thought he could complement him. So maybe Edouard, Alex is saying, could do that. LCFC Grey, I agree. Harvey Barnes could be the long-term future of Leicester City, replacing Jamie Vardy at some point. More clinical now. It needs to come more and more. It can come with practicing, can't it? It can come with practicing. CK, thanks for watching. CK on YouTube says we have money, but only for the right player, and we won't be paying over the odds, which means I doubt we will see anyone come in this January. I think it's an interesting one, CK, but it's a missed opportunity if we don't sign somebody. I know the transfer window hasn't been that busy for lots of people, but learn your lessons from last year. Ryan Bennett, Gordon Bennett, ultimately it cost us a place in the Champions League, which is worth a lot of money. I don't know how many of you realise how much the financial difference is between playing in the Champions League and the Europa League. It is massive, and yet the games are still, you have to play the same amount of games, you have to do the same amount of travel, but you as a brand, you're not in the Champions League, and financially not just earning. This is the chance. We've got another chance. It's amazing to think it, but keep getting your views in. Scooby, hi Scooby. Nice stream the other night, Scooby. I was watching some of your DJ stuff in your shed or wherever it was. But he says needs a striker for the last 3 seasons. Been very lucky that Vardy has not been seriously injured. God help us, he never is. But we've got no one. Yes, we need somebody to show the big boys. We need business. It shows intent, Scooby. I absolutely agree with you. It does show intent. We're lucky that Jamie Vardy, has stayed fit. He hobbled off again there and didn't score against Southampton, but he's played ever so well, scored goals for us. I'll keep those comments coming in about Vardy, about Edouard, about Casper. We want to know about that. We've talked a bit about Harvey Barnes. I want to know more about Harvey Barnes. I tell you, there is one player I want to speak to you guys about, and I want your views on him. Ricardo Pereira is starting to be sniffing around getting back in that first team. He's on the bench, but you know what? Who needs Ricardo when you've got the Luton Cafu? Honestly, how good has James Justin been for us this season? Do you know what? I absolutely love it when a player like James Justin comes through. Young lad, British lad, English lad, very, very calm, very, very unpretentious, comes across as a really nice guy whenever you hear him speak and have a chat with him. But what are your views on James Justin? I think he's absolutely my favourite player this season, I'm going to say. I love how his whole attitude about everything is. And I, for one, certainly would not want to see him drop from the first team at the moment. And I know Ricardo Pereira had an amazing season for us last season, but Castagna's come in, James Justin's come in. I want to know, what are your views on James Justin as well? Anthony says, would love to see Ricardo on the wing in front of James Justin. Well, you could be right there. When he came in, Ricardo, obviously, when we signed him, we were talking, we've signed a winger and we need a fullback. And a bit the same with Castagna. We've got quite a lot of players who can play in multiple positions. So keep getting those views in. What happened to Jovac from Madrid? He'd be a great striker for us, says Simon. That's an interesting one. Do you agree with him there? LCFC Gray says Jamie will differ in sharpness. He's bound to at some point. We've seen it before with strikers. I remember Tony Cottee. He came towards the end of his career with Leicester, and his pace was part of his game, but he still just about had it. But it soon dipped after that level. So Jamie, at some point, if he's not the fastest man around there, he loses a big edge to his game in there. We have the money to spend, says Callum. So why don't we just go out and buy one for 60 or 70 million? It's interesting. There's not going to be many out there. I've not even got me onto Diego Costa, which we could talk about that. But, for me, he would show massive intent. I know we'd have massive wages, but I don't know. It would say, hello, Premier League, we're going to have a go. Alex saying James Justin was awful first few games. I think that's a bit harsh, but hey, it's a big step up from playing from Luton Town in, well, what were they, League One, to playing in the Premier League for Leicester. He says anyway, utterly tremendous last few, not a slight, but in fact a big compliment. He's got better and better and better. So Alex, you're totally fair enough in saying that. He has got better and better as you go on in there. Jag says, and I've been asking this question, Jag. I don't watch enough of the under-23s. I know Ross Howard does, who often is with us, part of the J&R band. But Ross often says, is there anyone in the academy we can bring up so we don't have to spend a lot in the transfer window if we don't have the money to spend a lot? Yeah, Jag, I would think that's interesting. I don't know enough about that under 23s to see if we have got. Luke saying Ricky P right back and JJ left back. He's played there well last few games. It's an interesting one. JJ could probably benefit from a rest though, not because of his current form, but in the interest of his sustained form. Maybe Ian, I tell you what, if you ask me, you're a young lad, you just want to play. You just want to play. He would not want to be rested in one shadow of things at all. Nigel says JJ can play either side, so he could be used with Ricardo or Castagna in rotation. I think there's some logic to that in there, although I do like a settled side myself. Again, you know me, I'm old school. Keep the same 11 out every week if you can. Brendan has said that a 60 to 80 million player wouldn't come to Leicester. He wants to develop players to be... That is the business model, Anthony. That is Leicester's business model. But at some point, Anthony, we have to try and stop that a little bit, don't we? Because if we do genuinely want to be a top 4 side every season, can you believe that? But yeah, that's what we're talking about. Stephen says we don't spend big on players. We find a gem and pay the right price and sell for a big profit. Again, that is the business model. I'm not saying go out and spend 50, 60 million myself this January, but I am saying let's get somebody in with a reasonable amount of quality. A reserve team centre half who can't get into another Premier League side, which is what we got with Ryan Bennett, I do not understand what that one was all about. I really don't. Because, not being rude, I know we struggled a bit last season for centre halves at times, but we've got Wes and that if we want. We've got Benkovic out on loan at OH. So we've got players who can come back and do that. So be interesting to see. JJ, love his passion, says Scooby. Aggressive. He plays so much, makes a few mistakes. But JJ be worth megabucks. I agree. He's on that. He's on that. Look, you've got Maddison going that way. You've got so many Leicester players going that way. We've not talked about Damari Gray. I don't really want to talk too much about him, but if you do, put in the comments if you want to talk about Damari Gray. He's not gone anywhere yet. Is he waiting to the summer to go on a free and get big money? Simon says, what's JJ worth now? Yeah. He's probably already worth 20 to 30 million, Simon, wouldn't you say? What would you say? Put in the comments what you think. Ross is saying Inaki Williams would be amazing for Leicester, very strong and very fast as well. Good shout, Ross. Thanks for that. Join us tomorrow night. Don't forget we are live tomorrow night. It is Leicester City against Chelsea. We go top of the league. Not that BBC Radio 5 Live or Talk Sport will believe you, but we can go top of the Premier League tomorrow if we do that. We're live. We're doing a watch-along. 7:30 p.m. we start tomorrow. The match is at 8:15. We're starting a bit early. I'll tell you why. It's because so many of you guys want to come on and give us your views, which is what we want. If you want to come on, we'll start earlier and earlier. 7:30 tomorrow. And ex-Leicester City, Ian Hume, is joining us all the way from Canada. So, we had Russell Osman the other day. We had Keith Gillespie against the Newcastle match. We got Ian Hume. We tried to get players who played for both teams, but we were struggling with the Leicester and Chelsea one. I tried Drinky, but he said he was on a plane going somewhere today. How the mighty have fallen, hey? What do you reckon to Drinky? I think he's going over to play for some team in Turkey. But to be fair play to him. I like Drinky. I always liked him at Leicester, so I won't hear a bad word against him. Let's get lots more of your comments in there. Luke says, let's not talk about Demarai Gray. Clearly isn't interested in playing for us anymore, so we move on by. That's it. Luke's had the final word on Demarai Gray. So keep getting your comments in. Keep letting them come in, and I will share as many as I can. Please, can I just ask you, we've got about 10 minutes left of this, so I want more and more comments. But please, give us a like, give us a share. Subscribe to us, whatever you want to do, but it helps us grow. So if you can do that, Jamie from the Fox's Arms is always telling us all, make sure you tell them to hit the like button. Hit the like button, just for Jamie, not for me. I'm not bothered. Well, I sort of am, but it's nice. Thank you for all those that are doing that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, EKG, exactly. I heard Drink is on loan towards... I can't even say it because it's not even Fenerbahce or Galatasaray from Turkey. It's not one of the big ones. So, it's strange. Alex saying they paid daft cash in Turkey. Drinky has done well. Could you not get the Birch on? Says Kevin. Kevin, I've tried. I've spoke to Dean, his son. I've spoke to Birchie. Birchie, don't do tech. That's literally what he says. I don't do tech, Phil. He's got his phone. You should see his phone. It's like a Nokia 6010 or whatever it was from back in the day. And I'm not kidding you. I don't even think he's got Wi-Fi in his house. So, and obviously, I don't want to go around there and spread any germs. We've got to stay in. I'd love to get the Birchie on. It would be great. Maybe we'll get Dean to get him to do a video that we can use. That would be great. Ian says it's hard to go and buy a 20-goal a season striker who will come perform at the Premier League. 50 million on one player is no guarantee. Look at Werner and Lacazette. What about young lad George Hurst? Now listen, I don't think he's been particularly scoring loads and loads of goals where he's on loan, but I quite like the look of him towards the back end of last season. I'd like a young lad to come through. I mean, he's out on loan, he's getting some practice. It would be nice to see maybe somebody come through, one of the young lads. What do you reckon? Jack, good evening, Jack. We'll see you tomorrow night. LCFC Gray saying, yeah, the Birch would be great. He really would. Keep getting those comments in. Adrian says, are you sure he wasn't off the turkey? Ate too much over Christmas. Talking about Danny Drinkwater going on loan. Adrian says, don't want Mitrovic, thank you. I don't think he'd... I like Mitrovic, but would he come at the moment? He's quite settled at Fulham, isn't he? Has he even scored for Rotherham? Don't think he has. No, I know what you mean. I quite like what I saw for him last week. Somebody on the Facebook group, don't forget, if you're on the Facebook group, you need to click the accept. And he says he'd like George Hurst. Scooby says, look at the players that have left City for bigger so-called clubs. Not really worked for them, has it? Well, some it has. I would think Riyad Mahrez would probably say he's done okay. I think Harry Maguire would probably say, well, he's not won anything yet, but he perhaps thinks he's done better. One who has left us, everybody loves Kante, but everybody forgets he only stayed here for one season and then he did one. But you lot all love Kante. So do I. But you slate Danny Drinkwater, who stayed here several years in the Championship, etc. But Kante, he's a god. He only stayed 1 year. Anyway, he's not playing tomorrow night. So does that make it a little bit easier for us tomorrow? Get your views in, get your comments in. Rudy's saying get David Speed in. Cheat fell over. That's all I'll say to that one, Rudy. Divers at the club. Really? We want that? Keith, we should get Pisspot on. Honestly, we should do. Lee Philpott. What do you want to ask him about? Handbags, I'm sure. That's another topic for another night, Keith. You could ask him what you like if we get him on. Indeed. Christian on YouTube says these next few games are going to be so important. You could be right. We've got Chelsea, we've got Brentford in the Cup, We've got Everton a week on Wednesday. 3 games again in 8 days. It's going to be squad rotation. For me, squad rotation will probably come into play at Brentford. Ross saying, our northern correspondent, Ross, says, my best mates who are Millers fans, that's Rotherham for you unknowns, say they would pay for his taxi back to Leicester. Maybe we don't want him back, Ross. Ross, you always spoke really highly of him. I like what I saw last season, but maybe it's time for him to go. Honestly, says Baz, honestly, do you think we can finish top 3 with what we've got as not bringing anyone in by the looks of it? Baz, I think we can win it. I think we can win the Premier League. I think we can do it. I believe we can win the Premier League, Baz. Not finish top 3. I believe this Premier League is open for somebody to come in and win it. I'm not saying it's going to be Leicester, but it is open. And the door is there. We can take it. Have we learnt from last season? That's what I want to know. Have we learnt from last season or not? Because if we have, we could go on and win it. If we've not learnt, if we believe our own hype too much, which is what I think happened last season, and we didn't make a transfer, maybe we can't. I don't know. So, yes, I do think we can finish top 3. I think that we can win it, honestly. Kevin says, isn't Julian Joachim still playing? Do you know what he is? As well as running his Star is the dual academy and all that, he is still playing, or he was, certainly. We'll try and get Richie Wellens on. Yeah, Richie would be a good one, Jack. If you can get him on, that would be good. Ian, the mighty O he's talking about, would be a good plan B striker. Sticks. What a player he was, Ian Ormondroyd, eh? Ian Ormondroyd and Phil G together. We had Phil G on earlier in the season in our Fox's Tale shows. So, yeah, a good player. Good player. Patrick is... I can't have that, Patrick. Can you take that back? You take that back, Patrick. Man City will walk it. Patrick, come on. You're a Leicester fan. We're allowed to dream now. We've lived the dream once. We can live the dream twice. Honestly. Scooby, what is this? We're just going back into old player. Shout out to Tommy Wright was class. Tommy Wright. Yes, indeed. Hitesh, you can take that back as well. Dennis Wise. I don't even know where some of these names are coming in here. Peter Taylor. Honestly, I'm trying to talk serious football and you lot, Junior Lewis. We did a poll. To be fair, that brings us on to a thing. We did a poll. Slimani left us, didn't he, last week? Now, I don't think he's our worst ever Leicester City player or worst ever buy. We did a poll and we put in lots of players in there. Who was the worst ever buy? Now, Slimani was 30 million. And to be fair, not many of you voted for him as the worst player. I think he got very few votes. Adi Akinbai got a lot of votes. £5 million, got a lot of votes. Junior Lewis, I can't even remember what we paid for Junior Lewis, but I think he won it. I think he won the vote. That was in the fan group. So really interesting. Hey, bring it back to now. Here's a question from Foxton. Who is better at passing, Yuri Tielemans or James Maddison? Let's answer Foxton. Put in the comments, who do you think? If it's Yuri, put Yuri. If it's Maddison, put Madders. Put them in the comments. Let's have this little debate now, right before we go. And I'll see what you guys think. Who's better at passing? I think probably Yuri would be my answer. I think Maddison's just that bit more progressive, a bit further forward. They're slightly different players, but that would be my answer. Better passer? I'd say Yuri. Cleverer footballer? Maybe Maddison would be my answer. So get your views and get your comments in there. Luke says Junior Lewis was 180k, wasn't he? Luke is also answering that question. Yuri. So's Foxton going with Yuri. Scooby's going Madders. Yuri from Axel. Fee, thank you. Fee is saying Yuri. Rudy Yuri. Simon Yuri. LCFC Grey is getting splinters with this one. Come on, LCFC Grey. I expect more. I expect you to put your flag in the ground. Pick one. LCFC Grey. Is it Yuri or is it Tielemans, the better passer? Ian saying Yuri. Tough one, but Yuri says Grey. Adrian says Yuri. I think most people are going for Yuri. Hitesh there is talking about somebody else. Kevin is saying Yuri. Keith is saying Maddison. Gav is saying Yuri. Tielemans, Andrew. Yeah, I think generally Apart from Luke, you say who's the best corner taker. That is a different debate. Listen, it's 8 o'clock. It's time to finish. Please like and share this video. Thank you for that. Thanks for all your comments as ever. It's been great having a chat with you. Tomorrow night, 7:30, our watch along. Ian Hume is joining us. So will Jay, so will R, so will Jamie from the Foxes, so will Tom and Locks be doing the watch along. You can be joining us because you can come on. We want you. All you guys, Matty Bond, Andrew, Fee, Matt Shepherd, Kevin, Keith, yeah, even you, Keith, come on live. Rudy, we want you all of you. I know I've not mentioned you all. Foxton, Scooby Baz, be great to get you to come on the video camera. Give us your chat. If not, if you don't want to come on video camera, put your comments in. We like to read them all out. You know that's what it's all about. It is a fans show. Fee, I will see you tomorrow in the watch along. Please do come along. Luke saying get Boris on. We don't want Boris on. Forget that. We try to not talk about the politics and just have lots and lots of fun on here. So, Foxton, yeah, we didn't do score predictions. We're meant to do that. Foxton, score predictions. Get them in now, quick, just before I go. What do you think the final score is going to be tomorrow? Who's going to win? There we go. I've even done a banner for it and I forgot to talk about it. Well, do you know what? I fancy this tomorrow, but I'm in a mega positive mood with Leicester at the moment. I really do. I think we're going to win the league. I think we're going to go deep into the Europa League. Hell, we'll probably even win. We'll win the FA Cup the year we can't go. That's what will happen. Somebody said to me the other day, do you really want to win the Premier League if you can't go and be part of it and celebrate it? I'm like, yes, of course I do. I'll win it, whatever. I'd rather be there. Just, you never know, May. There's a slim chance when we lift the trophy, if we lift it. I don't know. I'm hoping for Leicester win tomorrow. I think it's going to be 2-1 to Leicester. Jamie Vardy to score for it. Anthony agrees, 2-1. Leicester, final answer. Thank you, Anthony. Ross is going for a dirty 1-0. Stephen is saying 3-2 Leicester. Luke's 2-1 City. Keith is calling me rude. Keith, you know I don't mean it, mate. Somebody in the Facebook group has gone 4-1. Foxton's 3-1. Rudy 2-1. Kevin says 2-1 with a chilly own goal. Oh, I think we'd like that. If only we were there. If only we were there, we could give Ben Chilwell a bit of stick. I would clap him onto the pitch. I always think you should clap an ex-player pre-kick-off and in the warm-up. But then when the whistle goes, it's all fairs in love and war. Ian saying Chelsea look like a team who don't train together, 2-0. KL watching on Facebook says 3-1. I assume to Leicester. I'm just going to say it's 3-1. CK is going for a high-scoring 3-3. Matty Bond's 2-0 clean sheet. Thank you, Matty, for that. Robert says... Oh, sorry. Jag says 2-1 Leicester. Robert says 3-1 to City. Yuri with you, Phil, will win the FA Cup, make a song, and win Eurovision as well. Hey, I might believe in miracles that Leicester can win the Premier League, but I don't believe that we could ever win the Eurovision Song Contest. Not this year, not ever. It's never going to happen. Listen, thanks as ever for getting all your views in, all your comments in. Thanks for these guys. We couldn't do it without ADT, Eat Me, Tiger from Everard's, Moya Wade, Leicester Garage Conversions, Piglet's Pantries, The Fox's Arms, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, and our chosen charity, which is Memphis. So we couldn't do it without those guys. I've said it 20 times. Please like and share the videos. It really helps us. So thanks for that. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30. Looking forward to it. Leicester winning the Premier League. You heard it here first. See you then. Cheers.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feed Me, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans' debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.